Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm in the woods for a couple of hours, just visiting my friend Riam from Red Fox Bushcraft, and I'm going to set myself a challenge today. I want to challenge myself today, so I've not brought in, I've got the stuff on my belt kit, so knife, saw, first aid kit, just essentials like that, and my challenge today is to build a debris shelter without anything like cordage and things like that, and just see how quickly I can do it. In like a survival situation, how fast can you build a shelter that's going to get you out of the elements, keep you warm, keep you dry, at least for a night. Let's get into it. Calling back. Hello. Now we are in the kind of middle of autumn, end of October, and there's quite a lot of leaf litter on the ground and kind of sticks, but there's not as much as I was hoping for. But therein lies the challenge of trying to get it done. So I'm gonna have a look around, have a look for a spot, and see, maybe challenge myself with 10 minutes. What can you build? How good is it? And yeah, let's see what we can do. Right, okay, so I think I'm gonna use this spot here. So this tree here has got a nice fork, kind of in the middle, and it's right near where the shaggy ink caps are, so it's nice kind of view looking out. So I'm gonna take a ridge pole from the fork down, and then put your kind of ribs along it on each side, cover it in as much leaf litter as I can, so that you can see there is quite a bit, but it's going to take a lot to kind of collect it all up. So I'm going to use a little tarp, fill that up, and just yeah, get it as full as possible. So let's get into it. Nice pole there for me. So got my apex sorted, put a wedge stick in there just to stop it from moving or twisting, and I'll reinforce the, well, not reinforce, put some stakes at the base as well. Right, let's get some twigs. Right, it's starting to come together quite nicely. I'm going to get a few more, and then I'm going to get some thinner, more spindly branches to just shove on top, and those will help catch all the leaf litter that's going to go on top. I've never seen a shaggy ink cap as big as that before. That's massive. There's quite a few around here. You can see some smaller ones there, and that one is near enough completely disintegrated. And those over there as well, you can see, but they're really tall. This is a beautiful one. I'll show you some of these, some more of these the fungi around this woods, because when I walked past that one before, that was just one of quite a few. Yeah, we're just going to head back that way and see and have a look at them and talk about them for a bit. You can start to see there's quite a few kind of just peppered around here, and you really have to start to look around, and once you get your eye in, you start noticing them a bit more. So these are shaggy ink caps. And what's interesting about them is that they auto digest, so they start to basically eat themselves. And here you can see quite clear example. Well, actually, I think something has dug these up there. So this is kind of what they start to look like this one. So you can kind of see this kind of almost like fur. This is the kind of the shaggy membrane on them, and this is what they start to look like before they start to auto digest. But then once they start to digest themselves, this black ink is produced, hence the name ink cap. And in the past, this has actually been used as a writing ink. You can actually use this to write with. But yeah, you can see how this has been uprooted by something, some sort of animal. I can't see any print, unless some kids have come through here. And then here you can see another set, which is almost completely gone. And then a surprise here, this has been taken off a tree as well. Nice horseshoe fungus there. It's got some slugs and creatures living underneath it, so I'll turn that back over. But yeah, that will have been growing on one of these trees nearby and has come off there. But there's another ink cap. And these ones, shaggy ink caps, are edible. But I think it's either these or the common ink caps, where you have to be careful eating them if you've consumed alcohol. I think there is a bad reaction, almost like a poisonous reaction, if you've had alcohol and then you eat these. So I mean, I never eat mushrooms that I found anyway, and I never recommend it. Even some of the best foragers, thinking back to Ray Mears Wild Food and the guest that you had on knew loads about kind of like foraging and foods that you can find, and even he poisoned himself once with a mushroom that he found, and the only reason that he didn't die from it is because he'd written notes about all the mushrooms that he'd found kind of like that day. He had them in his notebook. So they were able to find out which ones he'd actually eaten, or maybe common other mushrooms that look very similar to the ones he'd eaten to work out. But yeah, so it goes to show that even the best of us can sometimes get it wrong with mushrooms. So be very careful. And here you've got another bunch which just look like there's something alien about it. It's almost like Venom from Spider-Man. Just these kind of yeah, black inky sticks coming up from the ground. Now there is another fungi that I always like to find when I'm out and about. Always have a bit of fun with this guy. Sorry, that was a dad joke. That was absolutely shocking. Have a bit of fun with this guy. This is the Birch polypore, Formitopis betulina, and growing on dying or dead birch trees. Look at that. That is almost a perfect. Now when they're young like this, they still have a soft fleshy underside. I'm just going to show you what we can do with this. There we go. So yeah, Formitopis betulina, birch polypore, and like I said, when they're young like this, and they have this soft underbelly, they have quite a cool use. So if you just cut a rectangle, just be very careful. You don't need to put too much pressure in. As long as you can, as the rectangle. Okay, making sure you've met up all the corners, and then just start to peel, almost like that, the top layer of this flesh off. And it's nice. You can get it started with a knife, and then use your fingers for the rest. Just be very, very careful. Just slowly peeling this off. Try and get this off as clean as possible. Yeah, okay, so it didn't go all the way, but you see there, I've got this off. Now what you can do with this is, the birch polypore has natural antifungal properties, and it's also self-adhesive. Now it doesn't feel stick or anything, but it's self-adhesive to itself, and you can actually use it as a plaster because it's microporous, anti-fungal, and if you just kind of press it together, you've got yourself a plaster. And it's just handy until you can maybe get yourself to a proper first aid kit, proper plaster. But yeah, you can use it. It's got tiny pores there, help stop the bleeding, and just being self-adhesive to itself. It's a really, really cool trick. So yeah, you know what? That was one of the first bushcraft things that I ever learned, and it was my friend Riam from Red Fox Bushcraft that showed me. We went on to a cub camp, not for us, but for my younger brother and his son. And at the time, we only knew each other because my brother and his son went to the same school, so we knew of each other. And we both got invited by the Cub Scout leaders onto this camp because through different ways they knew that we both had an interest in camping and bushcraft and all that, so we'd be good helpers, good parent helpers. So we turn up, and like I said, I knew a bit about this guy Riam and all that, and I'm following him in his car in front, and I'm in my car with my mum, taking my younger brother, and he just suddenly stopped his car, gets out, and there's this massive birch polypore on this tree at the side of this little track road that's running down, and he just gets out and he starts like kind of cutting it off and breaking it off, and I'm saying to my mum, I was like, who is this guy? Like, what on earth is he doing? And yeah, when we got to the camp, he showed me the plaster trick, and I was just like, oh my goodness, no way. And that was kind of my first my original route into kind of like this group that comes out, and meeting like Rian for the first time officially and seeing his kit. So I turned up and I was in my little like one-man tent because yeah, I liked camping. I'd been hiking up in like the Scottish Highlands and all that, watched reindeers for years and things like that, but never really gone out and done much, like just myself. And seeing him, he had his baker tent set up, he had this fire pit set up, he had his wood spirit carving staffs that he had set up. He was wearing a hat made out of fox fur, and I just thought, this guy looks incredible, like crazy but incredible. and we just got chatting and learnt some more stuff from him. And I thought I want to be doing the same stuff he's doing, and so he invited me along to the group that he kind of like came out with, and they met through Bushcraft UK, and the camps set up from there, and the rest is kind of history, and some of my my best and closest friends now. And it's funny how things work, just because my younger brother and his son went to the same club group. So yeah, bit of a backstory on that. Was the very first, so it's quite that's why I do like kind of sharing that and looking out for these when I do come out, because it was one of the first things that I learned to do. As much as I love finding different types of mushrooms and talking about them, I can't get sidetracked. I need to carry on with collecting the stuff I need for this shelter. So let's get back into it. So these are what I mean by these kind of spindly ones. I just have some small twigs, small branches coming off the side for the leaf to get caught up in. Now a handy little help is, if you do have a tarp with you, use it to collect the leaves in it, and then you're not having to just hold it in your hands or your arms carrying it to your shelter, because you've got to use quite a big space to collect the amount of leaves that you need to. So piling it all up in this tarp and then transporting it all as one is a lot easier. Now I have said that I'm not using a tarp today. I kind of want to test my skills with how waterproof I can make it without a tarp, but like I said, it's not supposed to rain tonight, so I'm not expecting any heavy downpours. If I was, then I would still use just a small tarp, just as that barrier. And one of the best tarps you can use is the German's bag. I'll put a link to Riam's video where he uses it for his own shelter, because it's got a reflective inner, and you can get some which actually have insulating in as well. And the outside is one of the best camouflages I've ever seen. It kind of fits in with that kind of rock moss pattern, and yeah, Ream's had it set up before, and you could walk past it and not be able to see it at all just with this on. So yeah, really handy. Expensive, but handy. Let's take this over to the main area. So I'm going to start at the bottom and build it up from there. Come on. And that to me is looking pretty good. Nice and camouflage there, nice opening. We just look inside, so you can see, you can just see some light coming through at the bottom then in the feet. So I'll just get some one last bit for there. But other than that, it's looking good. Now it's not very big inside, but that's on purpose, because the more space you have inside a shelter, especially a survival shelter, or something, or a one-person shelter like this, the more space you have, the more warmth, more heat you're going to need to have to kind of warm it up. But the smaller you have it, where it's just the right length and just a bit higher than you need to lie down in, it's going to be easier to kind of keep that warm, and for the leaves to kind of do the job, keep the wind off you, and keep it nice and cozy. Now, like I said, we're still in autumn here. It's not getting down to freezing. I think the lowest we're going to get is like maybe 10 degrees Celsius, something like that, which is no issue at all. Now the German's bag that you saw that I was collecting the leaves in, I could still use that, but as a sleeping bag or ground mat or something to kind of sleep on and just wrap up in, because I've got a wool jumper on. Like I said, it's not getting that cold, So I could just have that just to wrap around me if I need to, or at most it's just a layer to sleep on. I can shove in a load of leaves in the base, or put leaves into that, fold it over, and it's a bit like a mattress then. And then you are living in luxury. You've got your own air mattress, but with leaves and a German's bag. So yeah, there's a few things that you can do even if you just change one thing about your comfort level, makes all the difference. So having a fire, just the difference in having this and just sleeping out with the air or against the elements or against any creatures or animals just roaming around. Just knowing that you've got this kind of shelter around you makes all the difference to your kind of mindset and comfort level. So then having like a nice platform to kind of lie on with the leaves, again, it's just making those tiny adjustments, but making a big difference when you're in situations like this. Yeah, this is mega. Plenty of room for my feet, can stretch out, but I've planned it out well, and the shelter is like tapered to where my feet are, so there's not a lot of space above it. Again, just looking after that kind of heat side of it. I'll have a little fire here to cook on, and maybe throw some on throughout the night. Have a heat reflector so that this space is warming up, but it's not just being lost inside the shelter. And yeah, I mean, getting in here straight away, even though there's only a slight breeze, you feel the difference straight away. Just having that barrier from the wind. Yeah, very nice, very nice. And if I wanted to, could construct a door or something just to, when you go into bed, just shut up this entrance a bit more. But like I said, having the fire and the reflector will be nice and cozy. Oh, I could go to sleep right now. You know, the hardest part is actually collecting the leaves. You don't think about, and I know, I suppose if it was deeper into autumn and all the trees all the leaves have fallen down, you're gonna have a lot more. It's not gonna take as long, but yeah, gosh, you don't realise how much you need for that thick insulation you need on the outside. This is something the Vikings could have done. Sami was using larvae techniques very similar to this back in the time. Bastard. I think this has been a huge success. It's feeling really cozy in here, and like I said before, just having that barrier between you and the wind is enough. But now you've got this little fire pumping out quite a lot of heat into here. It's going to be a good night. Yeah, really good. Very impressed. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you've not subscribed, please press that subscribe button for more videos like this. And if you're interested in the channel, go head over to the main channel, watch some of the other videos. It really helps out. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.